We're here at the Gold Cove, just outside of Detroit, 25555 Gratiot, Roseville, Michigan. If you haven't come in to see us, please do so. I apologize, I have gotten people ask if we ship. I don't know, we're just dinosaurs. We do a decent business here in the lobby. We do not have an internet sales business, or we don't really ship. But today I thought it would be kind of fun, as gold seems to almost have gone parabolic. I thought it would be kind of fun to talk about what is happening here in the store and just kind of have a little chat. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about tariffs, might talk about the economy, about different metals, ratios, but kind of I just wanted to bring you in to see what's happening here at our store. We have been kind of busy, and sometimes busy for us doesn't always look like a line out the door. There's one guy that makes YouTube videos that I see, and he'll always have like a line out the door. Then I realized like he's really, really slow waiting on people. And so that does cause a line to be out the door. So here we always are gonna have at least 3 people working the counter, and sometimes more. So we don't try to get people out of here fast. If they wanna hang out and talk and shop talk, that's fine, that's encouraged. That's really a fun part of the business here. But we also don't want people waiting forever if they just wanna sell one coin or buy one coin or so. So we move people in and out pretty brisk. So we never really have a line out the door. We could have 3, 4, 5, 6 people in here, but a lot of times we don't have anybody in here. So we have been really busy. Sometimes busy just looks like a large transaction that takes up some time in the office. Some of the cool different things that have been coming in. I did have a dealer from, here's a pawn shop, and there's a lot of capital pressures on the local businesses that deal in jewelry, that buy gold jewelry, that buy gold bullion and things like that. They're just having some capital pressures, as we are too, right? There's a lot of money being thrown around. And so a dealer said, hey, I got 5 of these proof gold eagles. So he brought those in. We were able to get them at a good price. He was able to make his profit. And so those came in, and I'm not going to show you all the things that came through the door, just some of the notable things. These are really fun. They're not too expensive right now. I mean, gold's super expensive, right? But they're not expensive in relation to gold. So if that's your thing, proof gold eagles, not something if people buy rolls of gold that I would tell them to buy dozens of these, but they're a great gift if you are a person of means. I have people that'll buy this for their grown sons that are lawyers or something. They'll buy these as gifts at Christmas time or birthday. If you want to buy one for every year, that's okay. They're not super expensive. That was a cool thing that came through the door. That came through with maybe another 5, 6 miscellaneous, Krugrands, Maple Leafs. Guy came in this weekend, sold a 10-ounce gold bar. We don't get very many of these. I don't really promote or encourage these. I would never stock these, but it's a nice chunky bar. Costs you 30-some thousand to buy that piece. This same guy has sold a couple of them in the last couple of weeks, even in the last week. And I like people, if they want to buy quantities of gold, fantastic. I have customers with hundreds of ounces of gold. I have one guy I've been dealing with, he has he's down to 1,000 ounces of gold after he's been selling some to live on. I encourage people, if you want large quantities of gold, buy rolls of gold, buy 1-ounce gold coins, eagles, bars, Maple Leafs, the guys come in, they want to buy these 10-ounce bars, these kilos. To me, it's not something I own. I need to keep around, so I don't think it's super relevant. It's not real productive. I have these ladies, they come in, I don't know, maybe 3, 4 times a year. They're kind of slowly liquidating their dad's collection, and so they'll usually sell like Morgan dollars and old numismatic coins. This is something I've had around for a while, but I just wanted to show you an example. They're like, we've heard gold is really high, so they brought in 1 each of these, a $20 gold, a $10 gold, a $5 gold, a $2.50 gold. And they really had no conception of gold except that it's high. And so I totaled it up, and I don't know what it was, $5,500, $5,700. It was 5,000 something that we offered, and they both looked at each other and were like, what? And so to them, that was a lot of money. And so they did sell us 1 each of those pre-33 gold is what we call this. And this is a cool set. I just never broke it up. It's not even really a complete set. There's some coins in there that maybe shouldn't be in there, but it's just a fun piece to leave laying around and show around. Pre-33 gold is not a heavy mover right now. So we'll buy some of it and we'll sell a little bit of it, but it's not a hot commodity at this moment. One guy, he did come in, and this was just an average guy, big bag of silver, you know, and so I'm kind of trying to give you guys a glimpse or a picture of the stuff that comes in. It's fun. It's a fun business. You get to see different treasures. So the large bag, we're going through this for 20, 30 minutes, picking out the silver, throwing out the costume jewelry or giving that back to them. That's more than most people bring in. People bring in 5 pieces of silver jewelry. This is, I don't know, a couple hundred pieces of silver jewelry. The one guy that I told you was down, has over 1,000 ounces of gold. He has been slowly selling some gold at these numbers as they keep getting higher. He'll sell a roll or 2 at a time. And even though it just doesn't look like a whole lot, I mean, this is $60-some thousand in 1 ounce of gold eagles. So it fits in the palm of my hand. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but it kind of is. Kind of is. And we've had a few people in the last week that are buying rolls of 1 ounce gold eagles. So it's a nice thing to aspire to open up your safe door and look in and just see rolls of gold eagles in there. Pretty tough to do today unless you're already rich. But in the old days, you might have been able to buy 1 a month or every couple of months and put them away. I had a cool deal. It was actually one of the guys that works here had a lady contact him. He does a few shows outside of our store. He freelances on his own a little bit. And it was a bigger deal that he wanted to do. So she had a number of 1 ounce gold eagles and some 1 ounce silver eagles. But the cool part, and we don't see that very often, is she had 3 rolls of 10th ounce gold eagles. So that's 150 pieces. They really just look like silver dimes. And so 150 of those, they're pretty cool. We've always kind of sold 10th ounce gold eagles, but we're really starting to sell more now as gold has gotten more and more expensive. You could come in here today and buy a 10th ounce gold eagle for $360, which is under the cost, the price that it would cost me to replace them. So if I had to get on the phone and order 10th ounce gold eagles, it would be right around $360. And so I think you could scour the internet, and unless you were buying from an individual, you couldn't find that price. So $360 if you come in this week. Today's Thursday. Maybe this will get put out tomorrow. I'm not sure. If you come in the next couple days, we'll be happy to sell you 10th ounce gold eagles for $360. This one's kind of fun, mostly just because it's shiny. I think Caleb had this in his video earlier in the week. Lady come in, and I don't remember what she had, $600-700 face. Was it more than that, Caleb, or?
It was about $800.
$800 face in these beautiful 1964 Kennedys, uncirculated. And so we do buy that a lot, but we don't buy uncirculated in that quantity very often. She also had a bunch of mercury. I think she had like less than 1,000 face, so less than they call it a bag. 1,000 face, I think, is called a bag. She had less than 1,000 face in mercuries. I don't know if that was 500, 600, 700. And then she had under 1,000 face of these. So it was cool. All mercuries for one bag, all these uncirculated Kennedys for another bag. Doesn't do a whole lot after the fact, after buying it, but when it comes in, it's kind of fun. It can be fun. There was another woman, she had come in 3 different bags because she was elderly, couldn't carry it, and she sold us 440 silver eagles, so I kind of combined it and put it and made another complete monster box, which we are fully stocked with monster boxes of silver eagles. If that's something that you prefer to get, come in and get them. 440 eagles. We don't buy a lot of silver eagles at a time. Every day we buy a roll or 10 or 50 or 100, but you know, people bringing in monster boxes or hundreds and hundreds maybe happens weekly, sometimes every other week. So that's fun. You see somebody coming in with 440 silver eagles. That's fun. Puts a smile on your face. Yesterday, a guy came in. He had all these fractionals. He thought he wanted a lot of money for them. And I mean, I'm not going to fight real hard to sell them. So they do sell for quite a bit, like on Whatnot or maybe eBay or whatever. The AppMax and different distributors, they'll sell these 1 gram, 2 gram, quite a bit of money. Bunch of tenths. They're just fun. I'm not going to fight real hard to sell them for top dollar here. So I couldn't pay him a whole lot over silver. He got over spot. But just some cool subject matter. I might just make a little box in the showcase, $5 a piece on some things, and but that was fun to go through and process. We are still like, even though a lot of what we do is bullion, we sell a lot of, buy and sell a lot of bullion, gold and silver. Bullion means just the value of the metal, commodity metal. We are still a coin shop too, so we do get a lot of coins in. One woman brought in this trade dollar. This is a U.S. trade dollar from the 1870s. Let me see if I can see the year, 77. It's kind of a common year. And they made these to do commerce with Chinese merchants. And so that trade dollar is specific for Asia, pretty much, to do commerce in Asia between the U.S. and Chinese merchants. These are old, cool, U.S.-made commemorative half dollars. Very low mintage on these coins. I know Caleb's looking at that trade dollar. That's 1930s, so it's not an ancient coin. This is 1922. These aren't ancient, but they're pretty low mintage, so they can be kind of valuable. Caleb, what would you say those coins are worth, each coin? A couple $100, $100, $300?
Yeah, around there.
They're in the $100 to $300 range, so it's not really because of the age. Although a lot of people would say 1930 or 1920 was a long time ago, and it was, but in the coin world, it's really not that old. But they did have low mintages of those, I think mostly because people didn't like them. And they really didn't like them, so they didn't make a lot. But now fast forward 100 years, and they're kind of rare. I mean, we've been buying all kinds of stuff. That's some of the more notable ones. I did have a dealer come in from northern Michigan. He brought in, I don't know, 600-700 grams of scrap gold and a bunch of this silver. This doesn't amount to a whole lot money-wise. I don't know, this is 20, maybe 3,000 grams of just broken up silver and a few cups and some jewelry, spoons. It's, but yeah, like I was telling you, there's pressure on dealers to keep capitalized, so they have to keep their stuff moving just like we do. A couple of things I want to talk about. I mean, gold just, I asked a guy who's been investing a long time what he thought. He's like, I can't really figure this out right now. He goes, I'm not even going to make any predictions. I'm just going to watch the ride. And he used the word parabolic. Gold's kind of gone parabolic at this point. And it was hard for me to disagree with him on that. One thing that I do remember sticking out to me is I've heard it said, this is not me saying it, I've heard it said that each time gold makes new highs, it doubles its old high. And so I think there's a time you could look back in 2000s range and say that, well, gold went from 300-400 to 800-900. And then it went up to that range and went up to 2000. And so if we're using that as a gauge, then it would say that maybe the upper end of where we're at might be 4,000. So if the old highs of maybe 2011 were right around 2,000, then today's highs are where it might end up at is 4,000. We do have to be careful. You know, I consider myself, oh, gold's going to go up forever, right? It's just going to keep going. But there is a point where it doesn't. And so you have to be careful if you're in my line of work to not get caught with too much of it, because it could easily drop back a little bit. So the ratio, you probably have heard a little bit about the gold to silver ratio. It is 100-to-1. That's pretty rare. That's a pretty rare instance in time. I think that's only happened maybe one other time. So that is significant. You could probably say that there is not a whole lot of downside to silver right now. Caleb, do you have any thoughts on where things might be going on the silver side of things or gold side of things, or anything like that?
I do have a question.
Yep.
Dad, do you have enough silver in your portfolio today?
Enough silver in my portfolio. So I kind of wrote down some talking points a little bit. I just want to make sure I can stay on topic, although I have a hard time with that. But silver to me looks a lot like this. I mean, this is what silver, I kind of just came to this realization in the last maybe week or 2 weeks that this is what silver really is just broken down metal. It's just a broken down metal to me. Super annoyed with silver. I mean, I don't know if I can trash talk silver enough right now. I find myself, not really in my inventory, but just maybe in my holdings of stuff. Silver's bulky. I'm lazy to get rid of it. I find myself having more in value in silver than I do in gold. And that really irritates me. To me, reasonably, you can just buy gold from here on out. Just buy gold. There's going to be people that disagree with me. That's fine. But this notion that silver will have its day. I know that one day silver's going to pop. Silver's got to go up. I mean, I remember like 6, 7 years ago, however many years ago it was, I'm not ancient, within the last 6, 7, 8 years, people would ask me, right? They always want to know, tell me what to do, tell me what to buy. And I don't like to do that. I don't like to tell you what to buy. I kind of want you, it's silver and gold sell themselves. I don't want to sell people stuff. I want them to come in and buy and place their orders. But I would say, well, you know what? The ratio is 50 to 1. So you probably should buy silver. And the ratio is 60 to 1. And analysts would say that silver is the buy. And people would always ask, like, should I buy gold? Should I buy silver? How should I mix it? I said, well, the ratio's 70 to 1. You have to buy silver now. And as I kept saying that, the ratio kept getting bigger, where today the ratio is 100 to 1. I need 100 pieces like this to equal 1 piece of gold that size, and it's just obscene. Does that mean that silver should be better? It means that people don't like silver. It means that gold is becoming more valuable and silver is becoming less valuable. There's not much more to that story in my mind. I just keep seeing that ratio widen out, and people say, well, the ratio, you got to buy silver. The ratio means the public is speaking, the buyers, the bankers, the industry, they're speaking. They don't like me like I don't like silver anymore, okay? And so let's look at, I don't have any real great data or stats or fancy numbers or fancy publications about that, but I do know that the bankers, the insurance companies, the hedge funds, the governments, they're all driving this silver. And I'm sorry to tell you, Joe, average Joe, you're not driving gold and silver market. The bankers, I don't know if I said the bankers are driving silver. The bankers are driving the gold market is what I meant to say. And so they cannot house silver. They just can't. It's too big, it's too bulky. They are accumulating gold at massive rates right now. Just like some of the billionaires and 100 millionaires, they'll buy gold, it fits. You cannot reasonably house all that silver. That's what's causing gold to go up, and silver's just kind of an anchor that gets drug up a little bit as gold goes up. One of the modern things I would cite is, a week ago, 10 days ago, when gold and silver got smacked down a little bit. So silver's at $34, it goes down to $29. Gold goes down a measly $150, not a whole lot, maybe $200, $180. Gold came right back, and now it's made new highs. Silver came back a little bit, but it can't even get back to that pre-beat down price. So gold's out there, got its money back, made new highs. Silver can't even get back even. Even today you look at, they're both down a little bit, but silver's down more than gold. Yesterday, gold was up more than silver. It just continues to kind of stretch out. All that tells me is I don't need to care about silver. I really don't want any silver in my life. Do I want $1,000 face in case there's zombies that need to be bought off with silver? I need to go buy bread or something. Okay, sure. There's really no catalyst. Now I look at the green industry, right? The green initiatives and all that push for alternative energy and electric cars and that's all been kind of solar. Did I say solar? That's all been tamped down some with the new administration. So there's less demand for the green-friendly initiatives, and there's more demand for hard, safe assets and gold as we see these equities are struggling. People are not feeling safe, and so they're going into gold. These tariffs, I don't really know, they're realistically, practically not going to affect the metal as far as the tariff, but they are affecting the sentiment. They are affecting the rest of the market, which causes people to go buy gold and maybe silver. I don't know why. Buy gold. I think that's kind of all I got right now. I'm mindful to watch the gold price. I think I think it could drop $500. I mean, that's not crazy, right? It's just gone up $400 in a week or two. It could drop $500. There could be some downside to gold, silver, although I've failed to see a lot of the upside. There's not as much downside, I don't think. I mean, it looks ugly. Where can it go from here? It should be going up. It's not. It's gold. If you have money and you're buying metal, this won't help my silver sales, but come and buy gold. Come and buy gold. Caleb, did I miss something, or something else you think we should talk about today, or?
So I do have one question. Do you think silver is a good investment?
Silver is a good investment. It's been proven out to me. It really has been proven out. If you bought gold in 2011, it was $2,000. It got smashed down to $1,000. It was miserable for a long time. Today, you're up 50% on that. So time would have proved out, and you'd be okay. Now that was if you bought at the previous past high. If you bought silver at that same time, $50 an ounce silver, here we are 15 years later or 14 years later, and it's still 50% under its highs. 50% under its highs. I mean, I think I'm ready to stick a fork in silver. And you may disagree, and that's your right. I'd love to see how you would substantiate that thought process in our comments. But I'm ready to stick a fork. Silver's laying on the roadside, and I'm ready to just spear it and move on. I'm buying gold. And so I've been telling people in the last week, like, what are you doing? Just buy gold. Just buy gold. It's proven itself out. So I'm not a brilliant man when it comes to investing. Maybe you take my advice, but just do the opposite. You could be better off. Who knows? But no, I don't think silver for me. I can't get rid of it fast enough. So that's it for today, guys. I appreciate you watching. I really hope that we're going to get to that 1,000 mark. Caleb's got these couple bars set aside, and we're going to send one out to somebody that he selects, or that gets randomly selected through our subscribers. 4-ounce bars, pretty cool. The longer it's taken to get to that 1,000 mark, maybe the more silver's worth. Who knows? I guess it should have been gold, because then it would have been going up in value. But guys, thanks a lot. Easter week, it's Holy Week, right? That means something. For those of you that only go to church every now and again, this is your Sunday to go to church, Easter. And we live in a great nation. You're able to choose what you want to believe. As for me and this store and these guys that work here, we believe in Jesus Christ. And we're going to church this Easter. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. We'll see you around.